Good evening. I call the City Council, Special City Council of March 18th, 2025 to order. Please stand. The pledge of allegiance. Councilor Fitzpatrick, you lead us in the pledge.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Should say for rich people.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
See, I was in trouble.
Councilor Credo is excused. Councilor Deja is excused. Councilor Horn.
Yeah.
Councilor Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Councilor Fontenot.
Present.
Councilor Herman.
Here.
Councilor Carulian.
Here.
Councilor Richardson.
Here.
Councilor Sullivan.
Present.
Councilor Turner.
Present.
Councilor Walker.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Hammond.
Present.
Mayor Callahan.
Present, we have a quorum. On our special meeting, we have an amendment to Chapter 275 of the zone ordinances regarding the dimensional requirements of the Green Estate Ridge District. And I'm just reading this for the first reading and refer to a public hearing. There's no need to vote on that. Now I adjourn the special city council meeting and move over to the workshop. I'll move on to public input. If you have something to say to the public, to us, come on up, state your name and address, and you're limited to 5 minutes.
Susan Rice, 10 Rod Road. Today is National Awkward Day. How does this apply to the city of Rochester? Is it awkward for the city council to hold the special meeting that you just had, to schedule a public hearing, to advance a zoning ordinance change for big business? Why such a rush? Could have been done at the next meeting, during your regular city council meeting. Is it awkward that a citizen commented on the mayor snapping his fingers when he commands a zoning ordinance change and it mysteriously happens? I think a certain resident called this way back in September. Is it awkward for the city to turn the other cheek and take a long-time institutional function, such as the Granite State Fair, and unilaterally change the zoning on the parcel and then deny them the use of grandfathered events? Is it awkward to challenge a nonprofit status, but big business is given perceived preferential treatment by the city council holding a special meeting to advance their interests? Is it awkward for the agenda of the ZBA to be posted, quote unquote, cannot be heard for a certain case? Rama comes to mind after placing it on the agenda. For the outside, it appears that the representing attorney had no idea of the slap in the face her client was about to receive. Is it awkward for the city to take someone's money for a public hearing, deny the opening of that public hearing, and I'm referring to the RAMA on the ZBA agenda last Wednesday evening, by announcing at the beginning of the meeting that it cannot be heard, and because the public hearing was not officially opened or continued, basically stealing this organization's money. The 10 Commandments have been recited before at this podium. Thou shalt not steal. Is it awkward to have at least 2 city council members publicly campaign on transparency and comment that they wanted to work with RAMA, yet this organization is met every step of the way with another slap in the face? Is it awkward that certain members of the city council stated publicly during their campaign expressed interest in creating, quote unquote, a Prescott Park type atmosphere for the RAMA property? Yet, are they recusing themselves as a potential conflict of interest? Public interest versus private interest? Or better yet, thou shalt not covet. Is it awkward that this may seem a bit biased or narrowly focused? How awkward is this? Is it awkward that the citizens were told by the zoning were told of the zoning ordinance change on the old Dover Road, that it would not affect any of the existing locations and properties. Just so you know, the count now stands at 2. Awkward or lies, you decide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Kevin Brigham, 66 Royal Crest, Ward 2. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, and everyone present tonight. I'm here tonight to provide council members a copy of my written response concerning the responses provided by Mary Beth Walker, our Chief Assessor, and Mark Sullivan, the Director of Finance, to the Finance Committee, which I read at the Finance Committee meeting last week. I can only conclude that it's the staff's position that the revaluation was done fairly and equitably across the manufactured housing community in accordance with RSA 75 and the City Ordinance 135. As I mentioned last week, a city ordinance can be changed and modified as that one has in 2014, 15, 19, 20, and 21. In my detailed 50-page report, I provided reasonable data showing that the revaluation was neither fair nor equitable across the manufactured housing community. Although I knew many issues need to be addressed at the state level, there were many issues that could be addressed at the city level. I do appreciate the exemption level has increased, as I recommended in January and February of 2025. I hope that you read my presentation attached that I provided at last week's Finance Committee and invoke local change where applicable. Specifically, I would have no problem in signing an indemnification letter holding the city harmless if we were to receive trash services for our park. I cannot speak for the other cooperatives, but I would imagine they would be amenable to the same. As you will see in the attachment, we've been working on complying with city standards and improving our park for the last 24 years. We only have one street left to comply under the standards for city streets. For over 30 years, Waste Management has detoured off Lowell Street on Monday's regular trash pickup with the same trucks used on city streets and has done no damage to our park. We have also replaced our main water lines throughout the park under city specifications. We only have to upgrade the service lines from the main homes on the first street. We have also recently had an 18-wheeler drive into our park and no damage occurred. I hope that you all consider and be willing to accept our cooperative parks as residential communities, and I'm hoping that someone within the city gets in touch with me on their position. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Norman Boyer. I reside at 9 Nature Lane in Rochester. I'm here to talk about the veterans exemption in Rochester. You are currently at $300, and I'd like to list you some of the towns in the Stratford County that are at maximum, which is $750, which is Barrington, Dover, Farmington, Lee, Madbury, Milton, New Durham, and Somersworth. And over in the Rockingham County, there are 37 cities at $750 exemption for the veterans. Now, as you have enjoyed your freedom and your First Amendment rights, and which is a lot due to what the veterans have done for you all. A lot of the veterans came home in body bags. Some came home as amputees, and some of them look as healthy as you and I do, but they suffered mental issues when they see some of their buddies blown up or shot to death. Not everybody survives a landmine. Most of them don't. The ones that are lucky are the amputees that you see, and they show them periodically on TV. Now, I think the veterans have done an awful lot for Rochester, not just Rochester, but for the whole country. but particularly in Rochester, where it seems like you have turned your back onto the veterans by allowing merely $300. I would think that the city could do a little bit better than that. For all what the veterans have done, for the safety that we all enjoy. Now, you don't have to worry about somebody breaking into your house at night, taking the homeowner away, and never seeing him again like they do in communist countries. We don't have that problem here, but thanks to the veterans for all they have done and donated. When they signed up to protect and put their life on the line if necessary, and a lot of them have. Now, I think that we should consider just a little bit that we can do for the veterans in this city. So I hope you do not turn your back on these veterans and certainly consider helping them out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
My name is Jerry Vermette. I live in Gornick on Hansondale Road. I want to continue a little on Norm's speech. My feelings are that everyone up there, everyone here, you're not speaking Chinese, you're not speaking Russian, you're not speaking German because of veterans. I think we owe them. I think Rochester deserves to seriously look into raising the $300 amount, do whatever they wish with the 100% disability amount. I have been nominated as the elderly volunteer for Stratford County by the governor, former Governor Sununu. At first, I thought I was helping the elderly, but then I think they nominated me because I was elderly. But, I've been working with the veterans. I host the Veterans Drop-In at the community center. And a lot of the ones that I come in are having struggling recently. A lot of them do live in mobile homes. And the rate increase on their property has become almost ridiculous. I mean, somebody that bought a mobile home 15 years ago for $100,000 and now it's valued at $400,000, that's just shouldn't happen. And lastly, I talked to some people around the area, and I found out that Rochester is the 5th largest city in the state of New Hampshire. I talked to some people at the wonderful new casino and asked questions like, why did you build it in Rochester? And the answer I got on multiple occasions was, Rochester has the most money to throw away than any city in the state. So I'm just asking you, throw it towards the veterans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just like the cannabis stores all over.
Hi, my name is Jeff Beeson, live on Portland Street in Rochester, 363 Portland Street. As many of you know, I'm a longtime volunteer for Rochester Main Street. I was recently hired in November of 2024 as a part-time executive director. I have been tasked with coming to City Council quarterly to kind of give you guys updates on what we're doing. We recognize that in the past, we've let the communication between us and you guys lap. So I'm here to tell you about what we got going on right now. We have a brand new board that are excited and engaged with an excellent mix of backgrounds, including business ownerships, education, corporate backgrounds, government, nonprofits, and entertainment. For the first time in years, we have all 4 of our committees operating as our 4-point approach dictates. We have some great events coming up. April 19th, Rochester Cleanup Day. We do that annually with the help of the Public Rec Department. We have an 80s prom coming up on May 31st and a retro romp on June 14th. Our outreach committee is proud to announce that we're doing a $1,000 scholarship program starting this year, partnering with Spalding High School to offer scholarship to kids that are either working or volunteering in the downtown area. We feel that that will help incentivize kids to become more involved in our downtown. For the first time in years, we're sending someone to National Main Street Conference. 2 of us will be going, actually, hopefully to get some new insights on how to improve our program. We have the focus this year is rebuilding partnerships that we've let lax, such as the lack of communication to City Council, and build new partnerships. We have a new partnership with Maple Street School we're starting to grow, who will be helping us with our Bigfoot hunt. We've becoming a fiscal sponsor of the Rochester Garden Club, which will be helping to do some plantings in downtown. We are starting a relationship with the Spalding High School Art Department and Tech Center, which again will help bring the kids downtown. The design committee, we're revamping the 3 planting beds along the Riverwalk that have fallen to disrepair over the years, and increasing our seasonal decorations. The Economic Vitality Program, last year we launched our sign program. This year we're adding facades. We have 2 businesses currently working through the program, hoping to add awnings. We are going to be focusing social media highlights on both our local businesses monthly and available units to help show people around the Seacoast what we have in downtown. Both for available units to rent and for the existing businesses we have. That's about it. I welcome any questions you guys have. I know you can't respond today, but I'm always available through email. Happy to meet and talk with anybody. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris Taft. I live at 7 Royal Crest, Rochester, New Hampshire. As I know, I do understand taxes need to go up to pay some of the costs and things like that. I'm kind of concerned, as I live in a mobile home, bought my mobile home in 2010, paid $57,000 from New Styles, brand new, put it on the co-op that Kevin oversees, pay the taxes all the years. Last June, the appraisal was $80,000. No problem with that. And then, obviously the tax bill, my mobile home, single wide, 3-bedroom, 2 full baths is now worth $218,000. And I don't understand why so much. I get there's got to be an increase, obviously costs and things like that. I mean, I run a business too. But I think it needs to be noted that, I know we are considered a business because we take our care, we pay for the water and sewer and all that. We have our own plowing, $30,000 in trash pickup by all the people that have the homes on regular streets get it for free. So I think there's got to be a little bit of wash here on mobile home communities. I kind of feel bad for the new generation because if my place is $218,000 selling price, I can't imagine a family of 4 to buy a house at $400,000 now. So just something to consider. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and move on. Communications from the city manager.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a few items of online public input tonight. The first is from Kate Ellis, titled, "Trump Administration's Taking Away My Opportunities." You have an item from Brittany Eldridge, titled, "Property Taxes." One from Charlotte Cody, titled, "Proposed Campground on Route 11, Little Falls Bridge Road." Another from Edward Lee, titled, "Tebbets Road, Old Dover Road Intersection." and that is public input received online. This evening, I have 4 items for you tonight under my city manager's report. The first, I'm sure the mayor wants to touch upon as well, so I'll keep it brief, but I just wanted to share that on March 10th, I had the pleasure of attending the ribbon cutting and first opening of the Lilac Club Casino. It's a beautiful facility, and the team at Granite State Gaming and Hospitality have done a fantastic job creating a premier casino in Rochester. If you go to check it out, I encourage you to take a look at the public art installation, which is on the outside of the building on the left-hand side of the entrance. It looks very nice. I also understand that they had a highly successful opening weekend this past weekend, so I wouldn't be surprised if the charities that were assigned to benefit during that time receive a significant contribution to their causes. The next item I have is that this past weekend, our Employee Wellness Committee hosted a family skate for city employees at the Ice Arena, which was followed by a friendly staff hockey game. We had lots of families and children participate in the event, and it was great to see so many take part in this wellness activity. Many thanks go to the Wellness Committee members and to Recreation and Arena staff for making this happen, especially Deputy CAO Kim Conley and our Steve Trepp, who wore many hats that day, including referee for the hockey game. He was very fair. He did a good job. The next item I have is that for those of you who haven't heard or read just yet, I wanted to share that Assistant Chief Mike George has been promoted to the position of Fire Chief for the City of Rochester, and he's here tonight. Hello, Chief. Mike has been in the fire service for 34 years and a member of the Rochester Fire Department for 23 years. He brings a wealth of experience and has served in the positions of firefighter, lieutenant, captain, and assistant fire chief for Rochester Fire. Mike is incredibly dedicated and is a well-respected leader both within the organization and throughout the Rochester community. These qualities, paired with his experience, integrity, and proven leadership in Rochester, will make him an excellent fire chief. Congratulations and welcome to Mike. And the last item I have is that over the past 2 weeks, I've been presenting Years of Service Awards to recognize employees who have had a longer tenure within the city. And I just wanted to share that Ken Henderson in DPW and David Green in Wastewater have each been working hard for the city of Rochester for 40 years. We greatly appreciate their dedicated service to this community, and if you see them, please congratulate them for this fantastic achievement. Thank you.
True. They're both exceptional.
Touch a little bit on the casino also. That's a huge win for the city of Rochester. It's going to create 120 good-paying jobs for the city. They're going to, the proceeds for our charities, just the first year alone will be over $3 million. In future years, it'll probably be more. And it certainly brings new life to the Lilac Mall. And it's a great place for gaming, if you're into that, high entertainment and dining. That's a great addition to the city. On Monday the 10th, myself and Governor Ayotte were invited to meet with the CEO of Albany International, which is up past the airport in the industrial park. Absolutely incredible facility. Their international headquarters are actually in Rochester. Their corporate headquarters are in Albany, New York. They've traded on the New York Stock Exchange, $1.25 billion. They just released their last quarter. Actually, it's probably the whole year, but this last quarter, 3 weeks ago. And what they make at the Rochester plant is really sophisticated, high-end propellers for aerospace industry, both the commercial and military. And the entire R&D department is here in Rochester, and which was fascinating for myself and the governor. I also brought Mike Scaller and Jen Marsh, our economic development team, with me, and they certainly had hit it off with the CEO and his leadership team too. Is they've hired a lot of engineers from UNH. They've made an effort to keep these young, educated folks in New Hampshire, which you hear a lot about in the papers, how a lot of young people are leaving the state, but they've done a tremendous job. We actually, I thought we were gonna meet for like half an hour, it was over 3 hours meeting. Absolutely fascinating. The CEO is a fighter pilot, and the president also is a fighter pilot. It's kind of neat that that's the job they're in. At the Rochester plant, they have over 200 employees. They have some neat plans that not public yet, so I can't say what it is, but it's gonna be a huge tremendous addition to the city of Rochester. And internationally, they have 30 offices in 13 countries. Again, their international headquarters is in Rochester, New Hampshire. Very, very, very impressed with that company. Very impressed with the person sitting to my right, it'd be your left, City Manager Ambrose. As you know, at our last month's meeting, we honored her for being recognized by the Union Leader, the 40 Under 40. She received her award in recognition in Concord last Wednesday, and she got to meet with the governor. So we're really impressed with the work Katie's doing, and we certainly hope she has a long tenure in the city of Rochester, and she's doing a great job. Also, at a meeting actually it was 6 weeks ago, in our February regular meeting, the Public Works Director asked me to write a letter on to the U.S. senators on the wastewater issue, and specifically, Mr. Norris brought up the sanitary wipes. Well, I heard from Senator Shaheen's staff, again, on the 10th. That Monday was a great day. I heard from her office on Monday. She's totally behind the bill. She supports it. It's with another senator, and she's reached out to him to sign on that bill, and she's going to help him push that through this session. So, and her staff said she's going to be, don't think she's going to retire on duty. She's going to be grinding it out and taking a nonpartisan position here. She has very strong constituency services, and she's done a great job for the city of Rochester. I hear from her staff at least once a month, and the senator calls me a couple times a year, and I know the city manager and her staff hears from her and her staff also. So I want to congratulate her for the service she's given to the state of New Hampshire, and I'll personally miss her because she's a great fan of the city of Rochester. Now, I'll turn it over. As you know, we have Community Hospital, Frisbee Memorial Hospital. It's community hospital. Community hospitals are, for several reasons, are important, very important to have a community hospital in your city. So we're really lucky to have Frisbee Memorial Hospital in the city of Rochester, just from the community engagement, the community health education piece, and just that personalized medical care you're gonna get. And Frisbee has a new CEO. His name is Tom Bowden, and he wanted to come up today. He's new, he started in February. He wanted to come up and introduce himself to the community and to us as counselors. And so when he gets up and speaks, that's on our agenda. You certainly can ask him any questions. And I know he has a presentation. I'll turn it over to you now, Mr. Bowden. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you to the council and to the community members who are here today. I appreciate the opportunity just to introduce myself. As the mayor said, my name is Tom Bowden. I am the new CEO at Frisbee Memorial Hospital, and incredibly excited and honored to be here in your community and working with your teams at the facility here in Rochester. Katie's going to help me walk through a few slides here, and I think it's important as you get to know me and I get to know all of you. I'm here with my family, and family is what brought me back to New England, and family is ultimately what brought me here to the city of Rochester and to be a part of the Frisbee family. So I'm a New England boy born and raised in Maine, so hopefully you guys don't hold that against me. But born and raised in Maine, I've got family still in the greater Portland area, Bangor North. My wife is from Connecticut originally, and her family remains in Connecticut with family kind of throughout New England. We also have a great deal of sort of friends, and that we consider family that are local here in the greater kind of Seacoast region of New Hampshire. So we are incredibly excited to be back. My wife and I were married in 2013. She's put up with me for that long, so that's a good thing. And we have two amazing little girls. We have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. Genevieve is our 7-year-old. She is in first grade. Eloise, our 2-year-old, is a sort of ferocious little sister. She tries every day to mirror her big sister. But being a father, they call me Papa, is the best job that I have. So as much as I love going to the hospital every day, working with our teams, my best job is to go home at the end of the day and spend time with my wife and my girls. As far as some kind of fun facts about me, I'm an outdoors guy, skiing, camping, hiking, and so forth. Discovered, Sue Potter in her bakery. So I am an eater of baked goods, not a maker of them. And Sue and her group do a truly tremendous job. My journey, just sort of briefly in healthcare and ultimately here to joining your community. Started in healthcare in the greater Boston area. I've moved around a little bit as a part of different roles in a few different organizations. But all of those have been community hospital and community-based facilities. I think the role of a community hospital is fundamentally unique. It is critically important for the community. And it's critically important for a community hospital to be able to establish care locally in the community. And I think one of the things that I'm looking forward to in taking on this role and joining your community is to be able to work with you as a council, to be able to work with the community as we think about programming in the hospital and the things that we need to be doing to support the community effectively. I was my sort of story into healthcare. I was a ski patroller at a little hill in the Western Mountains of Maine. Had sort of an impactful care experience with a young child on the ski slopes, and that was really sort of the catalyst for me to get into healthcare. I was not a clinician, and I don't pretend to be. Right, I have a tremendous amount of respect for those individuals, and they have a very important kind of seat at the table as we talk about the work that we do. But to get into healthcare, to get into an environment where we can have an impact on people and an impact on community, sort of my professional calling. Sort of various roles sort of on my journey to get here, but again, very excited to be a part of your community in the role of CEO. I joined the Frisbee team February 17th, so yesterday was 30 days. I'm still very much in the listening and learning phase of my introduction to the team, but I wanted to share with you some observations that I've made as I've gotten to know the organization. First and foremostly, the team at Frisbee is incredibly committed to this community. They are incredibly committed to delivering a quality care product, and they take a tremendous amount of pride in that. It's really a very beautiful facility. If you've been in the hospital, as you walk in through the main entrance, it presents very well. There's a whole host of sort of patient experience metrics that are measured, and we compare ourselves against. We're one of the cleanest hospitals that in the entire organization that you can walk through, and I think that's something our team takes a tremendous amount of pride in. I think the way that a hospital presents itself speaks to the care that you can provide when you're in the facility. I think we're also in a really good starting place for continued future growth. Emergency department visits are up. Surgical volumes are increasing. Endoscopy, colonoscopies, and so forth are growing. We're seeing great growth in our cardiac cath lab. And so that's really laying a tremendous foundation for us as we look forward into the future for the organization, for the services that we can be providing here in the community. And then, as I think everyone is well aware, Frisbee is a part of a larger national company. And again, there's a lot of comparison internally within our organization about how we perform compared to our peers. And Frisbee stands out as a top performer in a number of different areas. And I think that's something that as a community we can take a lot of pride in. but it's certainly something that we need to continue to build on as we look forward into the future for the organization. Looking forward for Frisbee, our priorities are really going to be built around growth, right? How do we grow services, programs, and ultimately volumes for the organization? So looking at the emergency room, right? What are the things that we need to do to serve the community more effectively? Outpatient services, imaging, specialty services like cardiology and things of that nature. Looking at how we can expand sort of our geographic footprint of the hospital to serve the community in different ways. So those will all be things that we're focused on. And then our acute inpatient rehab program that opened about 2 years ago now, it actually has some of the highest quality outcomes across the entire Seacoast region. So how do we continue to grow those programs? As far as kind of my immediate next steps here as we move forward together, continuing that process of listening and learning, right? I think the input of the community, the teams, the council is critically important as we develop our strategic plan as an organization to move forward. It's going to be a priority for me to look at opportunities for how we can continue to enhance our engagement with the community. So certainly any suggestions that you have as a council or suggestions that the community has that we can get more involved, love to hear those. Ongoing development of our strategic vision. We are opening a sleep lab back here on the Frisbee campus at the end of this month, beginning of next, as well as expanding our behavioral health services into the Lakes region in Guilford. So we're excited for growth as an organization. And to partner with you as a council and again, the residents of the city of Rochester to make sure that we're delivering a care product in your community hospital, right? Your community hospital that meets your needs. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Bowden? Councilor Fitzpatrick.
What I'm concerned about is primary care.
Yep.
Are you aware of the cutback in primary care that occurred when HCA took over a Frisbee, and probably 90% of all your patients were just sent adrift? And if you are aware of that, are you doing any growth in primary care and trying to bring that back to Rochester?
Yeah, sure. It's a good question. That is an item that has come up again in these first 30 days as I've been, asking and learning about the organization. I think a primary care strategy is going to be a key part of our go-forward plan, and certainly something that we will, we'll communicate with, with the city. But it's primary care everywhere is a critical priority, and certainly here in the city, it's a need.
It doesn't make as much money as the other practices. That's why it was so. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else have any questions? Just more of a comment than anything. I was really impressed with the investments that HCA has made in Frisbee the last few years. Do you actually have, I don't want to put you on the spot, do you actually have what that number is?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I apologize. I don't have that number off the top of my head, but there has been considerable investment in the physical plant. We have quite a bit of new imaging equipment that's been added to the hospital. So there's a new MRI machine over the last few years, new CT scanner. So it totals in the multiple millions of dollars worth of investment that HCA has made to really fix some of the infrastructure issues and challenges that the facility has. Again, I think when we talk about delivering a quality care product, when we talk about kind of a foundation for growth, we need to make sure that the infrastructure of the building can support that, and we have that, which is good. The operating rooms were completely built and renovated, I guess 2 years ago now. So the pieces are there, right? We gotta get the rest of it pulled together, and that's the plan. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming,
Yep.
and
Yep.
welcome to Rochester.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think we'll be
Appreciate it.
seeing you around. Yes, sir. All right. Okay, we have a presentation, conservation easement on 39 Bernard Road.
Good evening. My name is Renee McIsaac, and I am the staff liaison for the Conservation Commission. I'm here tonight to talk about a land conservation project located at 39 Bernard Road. Back in March of 2023, one of the property owners attended a Conservation Commission meeting to gauge the viability of a conservation project for their land. It took 2 years to complete, but the property finally closed on February 28th. I include this point because even with willing partners, like we had in this case, it still takes a considerable amount of time for a land conservation project to finish. Ultimately, the property is approximately 73 acres that have been put into conservation, and we worked with CELT and the landowners to accomplish this. Portions of the property contain areas that are identified as coastal conservation focus areas and coastal priority agricultural resources. These are essentially data layers that are tools that are used to identify important conservation values, and this property has those. The property also has approximately 715 feet of frontage on the Salmon Falls River, and it also is an area of hydrologic concern. And in part because of that reason and the other conservation values of the property, the project was able to receive funding both through the Great Bay Resource Protection Partnership to cover part of the transaction fees. The Conservation Commission also agreed that they would provide the required matching funds for a source water protection grant, which was successfully funded through the Drinking Water Groundwater Trust Fund. And this project represents a case where the commission was able to leverage their resources. The property also contains land that's identified as highest ranked habitat in the region, and that's under the New Hampshire Fish and Game's Wildlife Action Plan. And essentially, this is another tool that we use to identify important habitats. And you can see here that 39 Bernard is outlined, and it's close proximity to other conservation lands. So across the river, there's a whole section that's been highlighted here that's conserved lands in Maine. And then across the road is the Gauthier Farm, which is also a conservation property. And by having these properties in close proximity to each other, it actually provides greater protections and for these conservation efforts. And this is just what the plan looks like for the conservation easement of this property. Again, we worked with CELT on this project. So CELT is the primary easement holder, and they'll be the ones responsible for monitoring and enforcement activities. The city holds an executory interest in the property. And I'd like to introduce one of the Conservation Commission members, Dylan Dow. He's here to offer a couple of words.
Good evening, Council. So, as Renee said, I'm Dylan Dow. So I guess I'm here to support or just give some words on what we do as a Conservation Commission. So it's one thing I really believe in because it affects every single one of us in the city is natural resources. And it's the essential role the Conservation Commission plays in protecting them. Rochester is a growing community. With the growth comes responsibility. We all want economic development, new opportunities, and a thriving town, but none of it matters if we don't preserve the very resources that make Rochester attractive. Clean water, healthy forests, open spaces, well-maintained trails are not luxuries, but they are necessities. The Conservation Commission is the backbone of these efforts, ensuring that we make smart, balanced decisions to protect our environment while allowing responsible growth. Let's see here. So what we primarily do is protect wetlands and drinking water supplies, green spaces, and wildlife corridors. We maintain public lands for recreation, hiking, fishing, and outdoor activities. So I definitely believe, that what we do as a commission matters to the city, and I'm very proud to be a part of the commission.
Thank you. Does any council have any questions or comments?
I'll make a comment.
Councilor Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'd say, working with the Conservation Commission, I know they worked really hard. And as Renee said, it takes years to get these properties, but they've got multiple properties along the Salmon Falls River, which the wording, I think, is the state designated as one of the most likely impaired rivers in the state, which is an interesting way to put it, but they recognize that conserving property along that river is very important to the state's water quality in the city, but also going out into Great Bay. So I think that's really important. I also wanted to point out, if you're not aware, the state legislature is actively attacking municipalities' ability to control things like wetland buffers and stuff. So I'd advise people to pay attention to that.
Thank you. Councilor Fontenot.
I'll just follow up and add a word of praise and thank you for the work you've done on this and other projects like this. As somebody who grew up in the city of Rochester near the Salmon Falls River back in the 1960s, we would swim there and then go home and shower. And, so it has come a long, long ways. And I know that these conservation easements and protections for the river are really important to that fact. And we greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Councilor Walker.
Yeah, Renee, you mentioned that you got some state grants for this particular easement. Did you use any of your Conservation Commission's funding for this?
Yes, so for the Source Water Protection Grant, they do require a 50% match. So the Conservation Fund was used to meet that match requirement for those fund dollars.
Thank you. I just follow up on what you heard. Appreciate the work you've done, and I know, again, I understand how difficult and time-consuming, and appreciate your patience in getting that done. That certainly is a extremely important piece of property keeping conservation for many reasons. Thank you. Thank you. Department reports. Any comments? City Manager about department reports? Hearing none. We'll move on to, we have a non-meeting, non-public. I'll take a motion that we go into a non-meeting and also non-public for land, RSA 91A3, section semicolon 2, D as in dog.
So moved.
There's a second? Okay, roll call?
Counselor Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Counselor Sullivan.
Yes.
Counselor Horn.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Herman.
Yes.
Counselor Fontenot.
Yes.
Counselor Turner.
Yes.
Counselor Richardson.
Yes.
Counselor Hammond.
Yes.
Counselor Carulian.
Yes.
Mayor Callahan.
Yes. Motion carries. Will be.
We should look at
Good evening, I'll call the city council workshop back to order. Looking for a motion to seal the minutes.
I make a motion that we come out of non-public session and to seal the minutes indefinitely because the revelation of those, what has been discussed would render it moot.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Counselor Curlian.
Yes.
Counselor Hammond.
Yes.
Counselor Turner.
Yes.
Counselor Fontenot.
Yes.
Counselor Sullivan.
Yes.
Counselor Horn.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Herman.
Yes.
Counselor Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Counselor Richardson.
Yes.
Mayor Callahan.
Yes, motion carries. Without any objection, I adjourn the meeting.
Already written, so let it be done.